That mean a nigga can't see me. I used to idolize them other guys on TV. Make them girls take their shirts off and wave them like PT. I took some time off. To give back to the niggas. What it do, man? It's the big homie, big play the man checking in. Good Shape University podcast back with another special episode. This one here is a little bit deeper for me, because just like my brother, man, one of my motivators, business partners, mentors, big brothers, got player partner, best friends, my everything, you feel me? Like I said, one of the most important things is that my guest is to me, he's like a motivator, man. He motivates me in a lot of ways. I don't even think he knows this. This is probably one of my first times expressing this, but his drive, his ambition, his charisma, his determination and everything is top tier to me. That's why he's one of like my guys I look up to, I always reach out to, man. Man, a great talents, man. Great businessman. He can pretty much do it all, man. Just give it up for my dog, man. T.O. is in the building. What's up, my brother?
What's happening, baby?
How you doing, gang?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you having me in good shape.
Oh, man, it's
shape,
good.
right?
Yeah, you're in good shape, man. How's life been treating you, man?
Man, has been life, man. It's been good. You know, it's been up, it's been down. You know what I'm saying? But that's just life.
That's life, yeah.
Overall, it's been very very fulfilling, especially here lately. You know
right.
So everything's been good, man.
So to all my fans out here, normally Good Shape is looked at as like a music podcast / platform, but if you really been rocking with me, you know I bring in people in from all industries, not just the music industry, but from as a business owner or anything doing with politics, the city. Anything that you got going on, I use my platform for that. So let's start from the beginning, man. For the people that don't know T.O., just brief. Let's from the beginning. Let's take me through the life of T.O.
I mean, I'm born and raised here in Albany, Georgia. At a young age, man, I realized that I really wanted to step outside of these city limits and experience, and you know what I'm saying, make sure I create situations for myself at a young age that I didn't see afforded to me,
right.
that I didn't see afforded to a lot of other people in the city. So I was just really motivated to step outside of the norm at a very young age. My senior year of high school, had a freak accident with my eye. So I lost my scholarship to go to the University of Tennessee, which I had just signed a letter of intent to do.
And you was playing football, right?
Yeah, football.
Okay,
I was had signed a letter of intent to attend the University of Tennessee, the Tennessee Vols. Probably like 7:45, May 8th, 2001.
Yeah.
And then this accident happened like 9:45. Just an envious, jealous teammate at the time. I didn't know he did it on purpose, but you know that really changed the trajectory of my life, like where I was gonna go, how I wanted to do. Like one thing I've always been was absolutely true with myself about my abilities and what I am, what I'm able to do. But it's crazy to say now, but I never looked at it. I was pretty good in football, but I was not disciplined enough.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't disciplined enough. I could have been good enough, but I wasn't disciplined enough to work out.
Yeah.
Like
preparation
you needed to,
and all
that
that.
preparation at that point in time. I knew I would never get to that discipline. So the NFL was never the goal for me. In sports, period, those big leagues were never the goal for me, even when it came down to, you know, professional wrestling. The big leagues was never it. The big league was my goal behind the scenes, from a management perspective, from an executive perspective. So I had to change. You know, I was going to get into football management through college, I thought, but that's totally switched up. And so I jumped into the entertainment business young, man. First person took me under their wing, Renee Jenkins. She's a pivotal part. Her name is Renee Atkins' maiden name.
Okay. Shout out to her.
She's changed. She has another name at this point in time. She's married. I can't think of it right now. But she was a very pivotal person in the No Limit movement with Master P from the beginning. You know, she took me under her wing.
Now, how did you link up with her?
Man, she was starting a step team a step team at the high school that I graduated from, South Cobb High School.
Okay.
My younger sister at the time was the captain of the team. Her daughter was the co-captain of the team. So we had talked a couple of times, and she knew what I wanted to do as far as on the management side of things. And she was like, I can, I want to literally take you up under my wing, show you how this works. So as soon as I graduated, not even before I graduated, right before I graduated, she got me up under her wing, started to let me move around with her. She established a step team. They started competing all over the country. It was in partnership with Emmanuel Lewis Webster. So we used to go and travel around with him and the girls doing things. And she showed me a lot of things, man, as far as the industry. And I was always a part of the industry when I was younger. I was in a singing group as a young kid here in the city. And I always liked the music industry. But again, I didn't want to be the artist anymore. I wanted to be behind the scenes. So she showed me those things. Fast forward a couple of years, I got married in 2000. My first marriage, I got married in 2004. And once I got back here to Albany, because I was still in Atlanta at the time, once I came back here to Albany, V12 was opening up, or getting ready to open up. And I knew I wanted to be a part of the club scene at that time, just working behind the scenes again. Never had the experience like that, but I knew I wanted to experience it. So I literally studied. That was the thing about me. And anything that I do, I study the people, I study the game before I jump into it. So when you see me come up with something, or you see me doing something different,
you already did your research.
I've done research in it for a very long time before I put my, before I jump out there. But I wanted to link with the owner of V12 so bad. Like, I was just like, man, I gotta find out who owns this club, because I want to get into it.
At this time, you still trying to get in it?
I'm still at the beginning of getting into the industry and that sort of thing. I'm back down here in Albany, so I'm not able to do a lot of things with Miss Renee at this point in time because I'm married. You know what I'm saying? So now I have that type of situation going on. Found out through research who was the owner of the club, and it was Robert Russian. And man, it was like I was adamant. I need to run up on Robert. So I used to go to the club, because I stayed around the corner from the club at the time. I used to go to the club all day, just pull around to the club to see if I could catch somebody there. It was crazy. We was at the mall one day. I was at the mall, me, and I can't remember who was with me. It was me and somebody. And I saw Robert in the mall. And I told, he was at the glasses stand when they first put it there. I told him, this was in 2006. I was like, man, whatever it takes to be in this industry, I'm willing to do. I mean,
you're ready to put the work in.
Yeah, I'm ready to put the work in. I've never been afraid of work. Like, whatever the grimy, gritty work you need me to do, I'll do that. I just want to make sure I'm in this and learning. And literally, man, from that day, we walked around the mall for 2 hours, man. And from that day,
talking and
just
getting acquainted with each other.
That was it. And from that day, in 2005, it wasn't 2006. In 2005 until this day, you know what I'm saying, Robert Russian has been, one of the most important people in my life. Shout out, for real.
So that was your first time meeting Red around the V12 days? Yes. When they got that venue?
Yes. Yep.
I always thought it was longer, but it makes sense now.
Nah, it was then, man, 2005 when we met, and, we've been rocking ever since, man. It's been an honor and a pleasure to rock with him, and he literally took me under his wing. Right. A lot of the things, the business practices that I have right now, the principles behind things that I do, I learned it from Robert. He still stay on me to this day about a lot of things, and I appreciate it way more now than I did
when he was young. When you're young, you just
22, 23. I thought he was trying to just nitpick. You know what I'm saying? And just he bullied me in certain types of way. And literally, I didn't understand that he wasn't and what he was doing literally until this year. You know what I'm saying? Literally to this year. I've had some situations where, I had to check myself as a friend, as a brother, as a man, about how I felt not just being immature in thought and in emotions, getting caught up in emotions. So it's been amazing to be up under his tutelage for all these years, man. So that's a lot of things that came forth because of the tutelage of Robert.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I don't know, y'all. If y'all don't know, you're gonna learn today. Like, this man has had his hands in a lot of things, from wrestling to the music industry, traveling, semi-pro football, arena football, pro football, all of that. So, like, we meet Rob. We start getting into the club industry. Where do we go from 2005? I know you're learning now. Now you're in the door. You got a good guy on your team. He's installing the keys that you need to be successful or keep going. Where we at with it now? Let's say we in the club. Now where we at with it?
So we're in the club. I'm helping Robert run the club with V12 on a regular. We've started at this point on the entertainment side, doing larger shows on the road. We had partnered with a guy, and we was doing some shows on the road. So we were on tour now at this point in time. Jeezy, Gucci, Wayne, that sort of thing.
Right.
I don't want y'all to think I'm crying. Little scientist got my eyes running. But so we were on tour at that point in time. So that was going smooth. Me learning now the tour life, what responsibilities I had. The most responsibility came, I think, on the Carter 2 tour, when we was on tour with Wayne with the Carter 2 tour, and me having to make sure things were set at the venues for the after party before we got there and that sort of thing. I learned a lot of stuff on that tour. And while we were on that tour, something was introduced to the city of Albany. Arena football was introduced in 2004, 2005 with the South Georgia Wildcats here in Albany. And I had seen arena football on ESPN, but never watched it. It wasn't a big thing. But went to a game. I was hooked. I was hooked on arena football. And I said in 2005 when it started that one day, like, this is a real statement. One day I'm gonna own this team. Like, I'm gonna own this team. And so I got engulfed in arena football, just learning. Me coming from a football background at that time, I'm still having little football vibes. You know what I'm saying? I still had that.
Gotta get in the game somehow.
Let me try to get in the game. So I actually tried out for the South Georgia Wildcats, and I didn't make the cut, of course. So I wanted to get behind the scenes. That was my thing. I'm like, cool. I'm never having to be front facing in anything. It's not for me to get the fame. I'm not doing this for the publicized glory. That's not it. Like, my fulfillment comes by.
It's really a passion that you have.
Man. It's more about the execution of whatever I'm doing. Yeah. It's not really about if somebody sees it, can they give me the props and all that type of stuff. But we were moving around, and I said I wanted to be a owner at one point in time. The next season, I was at every single Wildcats game. The next season, by the time the next season came, I had got in good with the owner of the team, one of the owners, the majority owner of the team, Silvio Fazzini. He took a liking to me, and I became the promotions director for the South Georgia Wildcats. Their second year, I got into it. I learned. I was real big, always have been, always will be big on marketing, branding, and that sort of thing. So they hired me on as that. I started learning the business, man, and so I was like, man, it's got to be one of these days where I can own this, a company like this or whatever. So so we had the years went by. When the South Georgia Wildcats left, it created a void at that time. So again, my brother and I, we were touring real heavy for a few years, and then Rob had to go away for a couple of years. So during that time, I wanted to try to explore other things.
Establish yourself.
Try to see. And I'm gonna say this, man, and it's true. It was super hard.
Most
trying
definitely.
to figure out how I was going to again, it wasn't even about me trying to hold it together for me, because I felt like I would be straight, but it was trying to hold it together for the team.
For the
you know
team,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
It was trying to hold everything together for Rob and everybody, just until everybody get back to the house. Did it for as long as possible. Linked up with a couple of cats here in the city to try to hold it together. And then it just couldn't stay.
You're
You
right.
know, it just couldn't withstand, and it was just time to bow out. And you know, again, along those ways, I tried to dibble and dabble back into things that I've always done. Again, it's never anything new that I'm doing.
Right,
By the
right,
time
right.
you see me doing it, I've been doing it for a minute. I started professional wrestling at 17. I started training at 17 in Atlanta at WWA 4. And by this time, I'm like 23, 24. I create my first independent promotion down here in Albany, Smash Mouth Pro Wrestling.
Right,
So
right.
it can fulfill that, you know, physical aspect, that sports entertainment aspect that I needed in my life. So, you know, I created Smash Mouth Pro Wrestling, linked up with a couple of cats down here through a
Now,
couple
before
of
you
shows.
go further, because now because I want to touch on the pro wrestling thing, because
Okay.
that's deep. Now, at the time, like you're in high school playing football, you're supposed to go to Tennessee. You had the freak accident.
Yeah.
You link up with Rob. Now, it sounds like in the back of your mind, it's like I always had that passion
Yeah.
for wrestling, though.
Yeah.
I always watched it,
Yeah.
fucked with it, studied it, and wanted to be a
Always.
part of it.
Always. I've been a wrestling fan since the age of 2, 3. And I
Right.
mean, I know a lot of cats be feeling like that's normal, right? Well, I've been an avid fan of wrestling like since 2 or 3. My first wrestler that I can remember and still is my favorite wrestler of all time right now is Sting.
Yeah.
And so my pops used to watch wrestling, and I took to it at a very young age. Of course, being here in Albany, it was never an opportunity for me to actually be involved. Yes, it used to come every now and then back in the day, but it wasn't a way for me to be involved with wrestling, and I actually wanted to. And so one thing at a young age that I decided that if it was something that I wanted to be involved in and I couldn't get someone to assist me in opening the door, then I was going to kick it down.
I was gonna kick it
You know
down
what I'm saying?
regardless.
I was going to kick it down, and I was going to do the things my way. And in every single industry where it's professional wrestling, whether it's professional football, whether it's politics, whether it's none, I've done things my way. It's not about trying to do things based on someone else. I got to live with the integrity of myself.
Right.
And so I'm big on doing things my way. Regardless of what you say, I got to get it done. So wrestling has always been a part of my life, man. And I knew I would eventually get to the point where I could train to be a pro wrestler at some point in time. So at 17, I did my research, found the WWA 4 in Atlanta when I was staying in Atlanta right off of Fulton Industrial. It's still there now, but in a newer location ran by A.R. Fox, my guy A.R. Fox. But I went there at 17. It was $500 you had to pay to start. $500 to start. I didn't have $500, but
As a lot of us didn't at that age.
at that time, I mean, this was 2001. You know what I'm saying? This was when I first started. It was 2001. So I did have a couple of replica championship belts. This was when the replica championship belts first started.
First
Like
drop.
you couldn't. The only one you could get was the big gold, the WWE championship, heavyweight championship, which the Rock version, the Stone Cold version. And that
was the Broken Skull.
The Broken Skull. So
Skulls.
I had 2 big goals, and I had the WWE Heavyweight Championship, and I had the Broken Skull belt with the snakeskin back, Stone Cold. So when I went to, this is how I learned how to negotiate from a very early age.
Yeah.
My negotiating and bartering and all of that stuff started kicking in at 17 years old. I went into the WWA 4, and it was ran by Frank. I can't remember Frank's name. Frank had to be 80 at that time. I don't know. He had been around the old white guy, been around the industry.
It's always an old white guy.
Old white guy, been around the industry a long time. And he told me how much it was to start training and this, that, and the third. And I was just like, I told him, I was like, I don't have no $500.
Right.
But what I do have, I looked and he had a replica from I don't know who. It was like put together. It was dusty. It was messed up. I was like, it was literally in the back of his office. And while I'm sitting at his desk, I'm looking at it up there on the shelf, and I'm like, well, I don't have $500, but I do have a replica.
You swapped out the belts.
Swap it. We'll swap it out. I ain't even get that belt. I ain't want that belt. I just told him, I'll give you this belt in exchange for my training, my down payment for my training. So that was supposed to be, and again, at that time, those belts only cost like $200.
Right.
But I exchanged it in a negotiation for $500 worth of training, which I never paid a dime to. Like, Frank, I stayed there. I turned pro there. I never paid a dime to the WWA for. I negotiated my abilities. While there, though, you know, at a very young age, I was serious about it. I was younger. I was smaller. You know what I'm saying? I'm like 200 pounds. I was good at it. So the OG, RIP to New Jack, he took me under his wing straight out of the doggone training facility. Yeah. I started going with New Jack around Atlanta. He had this little gimmick he did at Jazzy T's, which used to be a big strip club back in the day, Columbia Avenue, Columbia Drive in Atlanta. He used to take me to these things with him and perform on I Be the Crash Dummy.
Right,
You feel me? We used to do things in the ring, that sort of thing. I used to go to his house. I used to go on the road. You know, now that he's dead, he told me don't say nothing, but now that he's dead, I can say something. And like, he was the first person I went on the road, like the first wrestler I went on the road with and seen do real drugs.
Real drugs.
Not none of that, not none of the weed. It's
the real deal
he was
now.
Like, I'm sitting in this living room. I don't know where we in Florida somewhere. I can't remember where we are.
Right.
But we in Florida somewhere. And so I'm sitting in this, like, it's a trap spot, like dead serious. He has a show in whatever part of Florida we in. He has a show that he has to be on. I'm going with him. He had his other partner that rolls with him, and we stopped to this house in the trap, like it was a trap house. I'm sitting on the couch. He was like, look, whatever you see happening here,
stays in here.
Stay here.
Right.
I'm like, bro, I ain't telling nobody this. Man, I'm 17, 18 years old. I'm like, geek that somebody that I've watched on the TV is again taking me under their wing. And I'm like, I'm not tricking this off, telling nobody. I'm cool. But he was the first person to take me under his wing. And then from there, I kind of just continue to move through wrestling. And it was like an on and off situation again. I never wanted to make it to the WWE as a wrestler. Yeah. So I wasn't committed. Behind the scenes. I wasn't committed to the ring and the ring work.
Just committed to the business.
I was committed to the business.
Right.
So that's why I started Smash Mouth Pro Wrestling down here, is because the business of pro wrestling was more important to me. And just like, you know, with football, it was more important for me to be behind the scenes and learn the business of it. You know what I'm saying? Travel with high profile clients. It was important. It's important for me to learn the business, the logistics of it, so I can execute at a high level. You know what I'm saying? In any industry, that's me.
Let me ask you this. Is there a similarity in the business of wrestling, sports, music,
politics?
Is there a similarity? Like, you could take what you learned in this industry, apply it to that one?
Truth be told, it's all theatrics. Right? So, and like I said before, I'm super focused on branding and marketing and that sort of thing. So everything that I do equates in all the industries, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm focused on branding and marketing first. Cross marketing is very big also. In everything that I do, I try to cross market the industries that I have the passion for while I'm doing it. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I hit a person the other day about partnering with my wrestling academy on some fitness stuff, like the visual of it, because I'm not just trying to push pro wrestling in my pro wrestling academy. The fitness side of it had a partner of mine here in the city hit me on Facebook the other day, like, bro, I ain't never really kicked it with no wrestling, but I do want to work out. Yeah. I want to work out and try to get my body right. It's a fitness part of it, past the entertainment side. So I'm always trying to cross market as much as possible, man. But so to answer your question, all of it has translated into all of it. Mm-hmm. It's levels to it, of course.
Most definitely.
It's definitely levels to it, but all of it translates together. And I think it's just been a blessing, you know what I'm saying, for me to be able to just work in every industry that I can kind of maneuver.
Now, I don't know if y'all, you know, I've grew up watching wrestling, but you know, we came up in an era where it was cool to watch wrestling and be a wrestling fan, but when outside the household and certain groups, that wasn't the thing.
It was taboo.
And I've recently, you know, through my brother, man, like I said, I grew up watching wrestling like as a kid, bro. Just Shawn Michaels, my guy.
Oh,
Bret Hart was I respected Bret Hart, but I was always against Bret Hart. You feel me? Just like with Michael Jordan, I grew up a Knicks fan, so I always hated Michael Jordan, but I respected the talent and the craft. Me and you had a conversation, and we were just talking about being dedicated. With wrestling, bro, you have to be 100%, 120% dedicated. Ain't no play. Don't let the fake talk fool you. Like you really have to be physically trained, mentally trained, be locked in it. Like, how is it for you to lock in at that time, being a young kid, 17, 18, to just lock in? And it's real punishment that comes with that.
Like, it's a lot of punishment that comes to it. It was fairly simple for me to lock in with that because I had such a strong passion for it since I was young. So it was easy to lock in. It was hard physically. It was hard. Mentally, it wasn't. I locked in easily. The physical part of it, and I'm glad you said that about the fake part. I think pro wrestling is probably the sport where you get beat up the most.
It's the most
without
physical.
Anybody else having to touch you, especially when you're just getting into the business. And I say that because the ropes in that ring beat you up in the beginning. Your body is not used to hitting those ropes when you're running the ropes, when you're leaning up against those ropes. Your body is not used to taking those bumps, meaning falling down, slamming and all that. So you can easily get whiplash in pro wrestling if you don't land right and that sort of thing. So, you know, it's a lot that go into it. It is hard. I mean, when you're getting into bodybuilding, and you're getting into football,
anything you're
doing, when you go into those the workouts, that extra workout, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna push you. It's gonna hurt your body. It's gonna tear it up, but it's gonna build you up also.
Yeah. Now, so not to cut you off, with like I think the transition from football to pro wrestling, or just wrestling period, the training, you know, factor of wrestling, it kind of eases you into it a little bit because you take a lot of punishment doing football as well. But I think wrestling is more as you being in sync with your opponent, and you're falling the right way. You just can't fall on your back. You just can't run to the rope and hit the rope. It's all technique and everything you do with wrestling.
Yeah, it's all it's a big dance, man. It's all about timing and you trusting your partner.
Now, before we get up out of here, man, tell us about the Sweat Academy, man. How can the people get in tune with it, register, sign up?
All right, well, you make sure you follow us on all our social medias that we have set up thus for: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's at Sweat Academy AOB. Sweat Academy AOB is the handle on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Our YouTube is up. It's the Sweat Academy Live. We'll be adding content on there as we go. Again, beginners class, first inaugural beginners class starts September 17th. Will be the first day. We open officially September 1st for open ring workout. What that is if you're already a professional wrestler working on the indie circuit and you need somewhere to come work out. It's not a lot of rings to come work out in, especially in South Georgia. I don't think it's any except ours. Outside,
Facts.
maybe 3.5 hours away from here, literally, to go to the next ring. So September 1st, we open for open ring. 17th, we open for beginners class. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go follow, y'all go like, y'all go share, y'all please. You know what I'm saying?
And again, like he said, age is really not a factor.
Nah, age is really. I'm glad you said that. Let me explain. So our age group for our training class, the 8 weeks training classes, start at 17. But what I'm doing, I do want to focus on making sure our younger generation they're exposed to this, even if they can't afford it. So I've partnered with a few businesses around town, and I'm partnering with a few more businesses. I have a few already now that's already locked. What they're gonna do is pay the tuition, sponsor a kid either from high school or college that they don't have the funds, but they're interested.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 businesses that have signed on to do this, and there's going to be more. So every class that we have will have at least 4 spaces that our small businesses are going to support to make sure we can create an opportunity for a less fortunate or somebody that they can't pay that. They're going to take care and invest in them. So that can start, like I said, from 9th grade all the way up through college.
Mm-hmm. For the sponsorship.
For the business. If your business wants to sponsor a kid, you got a child that that's in high school, 9th to 12th grade. You may know an athlete that's in college. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If they're in college, they in college or anything, and they might be track runners.
Yeah. They just want to stay in shape.
They trying to stay in shape.
Stay fit.
Hey, man, come try it out. You know what I'm saying? Try it out. We'll do a free tryout. If you want to try it out, hit us up on our Facebook, DM us, let us know. We'll set up a private tryout if you want to, excuse me. So you can come in and try out the ring, man. I would encourage anybody to come check out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Again, if you own a business or anything of that nature and you're a wrestling fan and you feel like this is something that even if you don't want to get in the ring, you just want to help this grow. Yeah. Like this is something that we always, like he said earlier, go post on Facebook and everybody feel like we need more. Now that we have a gentleman that's actually out here giving our youth more, let's get behind it, man. That's one of our biggest downfalls in our areas. Like we don't support until we see it flourishing and going crazy. Yeah. Why we can't get behind it and help it grow and bring some of that attention to it. Stop waiting for people to bring jobs and bring something to us where we can create them right here ourselves. We got people with ambition, drive, and goal to do it.
Absolutely.
Let's support them and grind it out with them. Again, man, I appreciate you for coming through, my brother. Hit him with the email and the social media for the Sweat Academy one more time.
Hey, the Sweat Academy, man, Albany's first and only pro wrestling training facility. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at Sweat Academy ALB. Also, y'all go and follow my Get Active Strategies company.
Yes,
also,
sir.
The handle is Get Premium Gas. Get Premium Gas on Twitter. We're big on Twitter right now, but y'all make sure y'all go and follow that. Again, the goal of Get Active Strategies is to educate our culture about what's going on in elections and in our local municipalities and that sort of thing. It is not to persuade anyone to vote one side or the other. I want you to vote your interest, but I want you to be educated on your vote. Whatever vote you do, whoever you vote for, I don't care. You still cool with me. You're cooler with me.
Just make your vote count.
Right. You're cooler with me because you voted.
Yeah.
I don't care who you vote for. I literally mean that. And I don't feel any type of way because you may not vote for the person that I voted for. I'm just excited that you engage and you're active. So, y'all, please follow Get Active Strategies. Also, Get Premium Gas on Twitter. You'll see a lot of things that we got going on, man. I be all in every industry cast. Be like, T.O., what else you doing now?
What I'm doing now?
What you see me doing is what I do.
It's what he
you
doing.
know what I'm saying? And I do that shit real good.
Y'all already know what's going on, man. This your dog Player the Man, big player going on. Good Shape University. My dog T.O. is in the building, man. Again, I'm going to have all the links to his social media as well as mine in the description. Y'all make sure y'all tap in, man. Support. This your dog, big player signing out, man. Good Shape University. We out of here. Skirt.